Okay, and welcome to a video on the Swank Wash Tier 1. You can see we've set up our gazebos here as it's raining for the day. I'm going to take you through in around about 15 minutes, a full day from start to finish of interior decontamination, exterior decontamination, and protection on both the interior and exterior. You can see I'm just unloading here. I'm going to try and make this video as genuine as possible. So this is a full day service, which I believe is the best service you can get if you're not looking for paint protection, because it's going to add gloss and enhancement and protection to the exterior. And then on the interior, it's really going to strip back all the dirt and then add protection on top. So let's get started. I've taken out the mats. I'm now just starting to bag up all the valuables. Okay, now we have a hoovering section here. This is a non-contact hoovering, so you brush away the debris and catch it with the hoover as it's in the air. It's very important to do this on all plastics. Never ever put a hoover onto plastics. It should only ever touch fabrics. Never levers as well. Okay, so you can still see just hoovering up the main debris. The last thing we want to be doing is working on cleaning the car with debris around, because you're just going to push it in. So that's on the Alcantara there. The way we hoover on Alcantara is inches and fractions away from the lever. Never put it on there. You just want to get down the cracks and just work yourself out on there. Okay, so quick hoover of the back. Awesome. Okay, so you can see the lever's quite shiny here. We're going to get into a lever clean now. We're really looking to take those silicons off the lever, what have been added over time. Also as well, in the UK, we don't use heat shields, which is a bit silly. So a lot of the protection comes out of the lever, which needs to be cleaned off. Okay, so you see I'm slowly just cleaning it off using two separate lever cleaners as we're working on an Alcantara, but the bolsters are a genuine lever. So you want to use two separate lever cleaners because Alcantara is a funny one. You don't want to mat it down. I'll get into that in a little bit on the video as well. Okay, so you can see that separate Alcantara clean with a boar hair brush, which isn't stiff. We are looking to lift up the Alcantara suede rather than mat it down, which we're doing a good job of doing, and then just hoovering up that debris, what is coming out as well. Awesome. Okay, now we're moving on to the steering wheel. Again, two sections. You've got a bit more of a genuine lever on top and then an Alcantara on the sides. The way this was matted, it looked like an old leather football. So I'm going to work on two sections and I'll get into that and show you the difference between an unmatted clean Alcantara than what looks to be a leather football side. So we're just cleaning it there, just bringing up the Alcantara softly, taking out all the dirt and all the oils and leaving a nice fresh showroom finish Alcantara. It would have been as good as the day they bought it. And then it's that bit more of if you've got Alcantara, you'll recognise that leathery, almost old football feel, I would say. But yeah, an old leather football feel. You want to get that back to original. It's actually quite a difficult process to do. Use a specific Alcantara cleaner and just really work it. Okay, so just bear in mind, if you are speccing the interior up and you're going for Alcantara, it is going to need to be professionally cared for. We started seeing Alcantara originally on a lot of supercars, and now they're making their way down into the daily drivers, which is super cool, but it does need to be well looked after. You can ruin the Alcantara and you can mat it down. Thankfully, we've caught this today on the Mercedes, and we've managed to bring the Alcantara suede texture back, which we'll show you. But just be careful not to mat down your Alcantara. It is very easy to do. And your Alcantara only has a certain lifespan, so you want to try and keep it as best as possible, because if you need to pull up that mat every time and you need to scrub every time, it's not a position you want to be in, because you're effectively taking away the life of the leather each and every time. So we've basically brought that back. We've managed to unmat it all, which is great, so it's going to look like new. Best way to do it is just once every 2 weeks, take some purified water and just give it a light rub, just to make sure that mat's staying up. But the last thing you want to do is have to get into a position to scrub the Alcantara, make sure it's protected, which again we'll do today. But yeah, it's just a note to bear in mind. Alcantara is lovely. I absolutely love it. It's gorgeous, and it is making its way into the daily drivers, which is very luxury indeed. So just make sure that you are looking after it if you do spec up to Alcantara. All right, so I think I actually took the opportunity to speak about Alcantara there. We're straight into a door card clean. So got a mix of plastics and leathers. Again, using a multi-cleaner for the plastic, making sure it's got no silicons or additives in it, just to bring it back to its original factory, and then cleaning the leather and alcantara piece separately. Straight into a shampoo. This is a dilution mix of shampoo, 10:1 with deionized water. I do this by hand. I don't like drill brushes, and I'm not a big fan of steam cleaning either. I try to take a 10-year approach on everything I do. So if I take on a client today, 10 years later, there'll be no wear on his car, or her car, I should say. So again, that was a shampoo on the interior. You want to keep that light, and it does work really well. All you need is, again, we're doing the same on the mats, is a very good shampoo, a hand brush, and a drying towel. It will still be damp, so therefore we're running the heated on the inside now, which is drying everything out. Never ever hand the car back what is damp to a client. That is wrong. It's going to smell of mold within a few days. You want it to be bone dry on the interior. Okay, I think we've got a bit of a bad shot here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to clip this shot out. Okay, so obviously with COVID, unfortunately, and everything that's going on, we are using aircon sealies to decontaminate the interior of the car and also the AC, making sure that we're running this through the whole car. If I'm being honest with you, it's actually not down to COVID. We used to use this anyway on our tier ones. It gives a real nice, crisp, fresh feel to the car. It almost dries out, and then when you switch the aircon on, you're not getting blasted with all the bacteria that's in the aircon. You know, we are really turning this car around within a whole day. You know, this is 10 to 12 hours work. Why leave the aircon absolutely filthy on the inside? Let's kill off that bacteria. Let's give this car a real fresh, new, dry approach. And this helps a long way with it. So we're actually blasting the heaters, blasting the aircon, and really circulating around, and the pollen filter of the car is going to help drastically. Let's take a look at this. So there we go. Dry carpets, they shouldn't be damp. If you wear wet, we've blasted them out with the heaters, get the heaters pointing down, circulating through the whole car. Alcantara looks lovely, everything's matte. Look at that door card, back of the seats. This was filthy in the back. This is a family unit, this car. It looks brand new. It actually makes me really excited to see this now. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I would love this Mercedes, particularly once I was finished with it. All right, so we're moving on to protection. We've got everything dry. We've got everything clean. It looks awesome on the inside. And we're using a Gtechniq leather guard. View this as your ceramic coat for the leather. It's gonna last 12 months. Next stage, I've got the leather cleaned. I've got it protected. We've got the carpet shampooed, protected. We've done all this in a very delicate, professional way. Yes, it takes time, but we are looking for results here, not for speed. I'm not about getting to the next client. You know, let's leave time. Let's really give your car a new showroom finish. Okay, so we've got the Gtechniq Smart Fabric, which is applied. So if the client drops coffee, it's going to bead up, super easy to clean the next time. Moving on to the next bit, just a little glass cleaner around the place, just to make sure there's no smears on the inside. We are done on the inside, happy, protected. That's good to go for another 12 months, looking better than the showroom, I would say. Okay, so now we're moving on to the exterior. Forgive me for speaking so quick with my accent through this, but I've unfortunately not left us enough time, but I'm going to talk through it. You know, I appreciate everyone's got a day to be cracking on with, and they don't want to spend all day on YouTube, or you might have even ended up in a rabbit hole and now you're on here. So we're going to go through the exterior, and on the exterior we're looking to do two things: is really decontaminate this and also add a ton of gloss and a ton of protection. We're not paint correcting it. It's not why we're here today. We're here to turn around the car, so there will be swirls in it. However, the wax we're using does have a filler in it. Pretty much all waxes do. Those polymers in there will quite often filler the swirls. So, but it'll look awesome. So here we go. We use a lithium powered jet wash. I'm just doing an alloy detail clean now. We've actually stepped away from a lot of generators and really taken advantage of the lithium power. It makes a huge difference, actually, in all honesty, than having this big generator running all day. And it's a bit more expensive with the batteries, but well worth it. Anyway, so we are back into our detail clean here. I see the alloys are cleaned. They're actually being resprayed in a couple of days. I imagine by the time I'm recording this, they're being sprayed black now. So we were just part of this package. So we've snow foamed, detail brush, And as we go around, we're just jetting off all the dirt the snow foam has loosened for us, which is amazing. Be suspicious of anyone who gets your car completely clean with a snow foam, because the likelihood is it's going to have TFR mixed within it. It'll be a TFR snow foam, and you don't want to get into traffic film remover. It's bad for the paint. Okay, so going around using a shampoo. All right, so that's done completely, decontaminated. We're onto the windows now. This is a window polish. So I'm using Car Pro Gliss to polish the windows. I really like that stuff. It adds a nice bite when pulling off all of the fats off the window, because we need to get those polymers off the shampoo we've just used before we apply the smart glass, which we are now doing. Smart glass is being applied. Awesome. It's actually quite a delicate process outside. You really need to be watching to see when it dries, which I'll show you in a second, because every temperature is different. You can't do this in less than 5 degrees. And if it is damp as well, you really need to be putting a couple of coats on there. We've done 2 coats and it's dried really nicely. I've double checked to make sure it works. So the client will get 2 years or 30,000 miles out of this. In truth, the windscreen tends to typically go a bit sooner. It's just simply because of the wipers, in all honesty. It will wipe off that ceramic layer of the smart glass, but that's dried, looks really nice, super happy with it. There's one thing between you and the road, that is your glass. So let's get some smart glass on there. Let's make you safe through winter, motorway driving. Don't use your window wipers, just let the beads fly off the back. Honestly, it's a great feeling having smart glass on there. So I think now, just cleaning it off. Don't use too much IPA to clean off. It's actually, if you're finding it snagging quite a lot and it's not coming off, give it a bit longer to dry. It's a delicate process, just be a little bit careful with smart glass. Okay, so quick wrap around of the car before we get our wax and sealant on there. We do panel wipe as well, actually, before putting our wax on. Reason being, the polymers from the shampoos, which will have gloss enhancers, need to come off the car in order for the solvents to bond properly to the car's exterior. If I'm applying the wax, I do want it to last, and that's also why I put a sealant on top of the wax, so give it a now curing process. Let's have another look at the interior. God, I'm doing a lot of speaking here. All right, so here we are, panel wiping the car on the exterior. Super important this, I think, because you just want to make sure the wax is going directly onto the clear coat and there's nothing in between. So you get a nice long life out there. Here we go, wax going on. Put the head torch on. I think we're losing a little bit of light here. You can see I've broken out the uni lights. Okay, so there we go, wax on. Give it around about 10-15 minutes to dry. Just look to see when it is drying. Best way to see whether all these coatings and waxes are drying is through a haze. If it's starting to haze and starting to separate itself from where you 50-50'd over, then it's time to pull it off. You'll get a feel for it over time. Even as a hobbyist, if you're at home and you just want to apply a wax, don't be too concerned. As long as you're not leaving it on for too long, it's not going to cause any damage. It's really nice stuff, wax. I'm a big fan. We deal with a lot of ceramic coats. We deal with a lot of waxes, and there is benefits to waxes, that's for sure. All right, here we go. Let's take a look around. Let's see what has been transformed today. So here we are under the gazebos. It was much needed. Actually, we had a huge downpour at one point. So there is a teeny tiny bit of water which has seeped through the gutter. I managed to move the gutter down a little bit and correct that. But anyway, it is looking amazing. Look at the gloss from that wax. Looks insane. Yes, there's a little bit of swelling in that car, but we weren't looking to paint correct today. We were looking to protect for the future moving forward. It looked awesome. Compared to when I got this car this morning, I've had to clay bar a ton of tar off a white car. You can see the beading here now down the side of the car. Like, this is fully protected moving forward. The interior looks amazing. As far as I am concerned, other than the swirls what are within the paint, obviously we don't want to point it out too much because most people don't see it. We weren't looking to paint correct today. We were looking to protect for the future, add gloss to the car, really bring out the interior back to a showroom. I've took this family unit from 0 to hero. It looks amazing now. I think we're going to snip through to a few photos soon as well. But it is so nice to do. In terms of satisfaction from my end, there's nothing more satisfying than being hired to come and look after a premium car bring out the gazebos, bring out the skill, and just give you something back to showroom condition. Even if you let it go, you know, people do, you know, I appreciate you're going to let it go. All right, so I've let it set and cure for an hour. Time to put the sealant on the wax. This is going to add a lifespan of around about 3 months longer onto the wax, which is nice. Awesome. So I don't normally add an scent, however, the essence is really nice, and the client did ask if I could add a scent to the car, so I've done that for him. Little blast of that, and it's a really nice scent for there. There we go, a few photos. Please do like and subscribe if you can. You know, it'd be really awesome to see some people engaging with us. I'm going to try and do more of these videos. Thank you very much for watching.